Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been about 5 months or so since the last time I posted up a video on YouTube, but you know what? I think it's time we finally get back into the swing of things. The main reason, honestly, I quit uploading was because I broke my camera that I've been using for the last 3 years about 5 months ago, and it kind of killed a lot of the motivation. But it's all right. We got a new iPhone 14 Pro Max that we're gonna try out for the vlogging for a little while. Hopefully everything looks good on, the post editing and whatnot, but we'll find out. Anyway, the whole point of today's video isn't about the phone. We're going to be talking about some of those S14 goodies. Now, don't get me wrong, just because I haven't been posting videos doesn't mean I've been sleeping on the Silvia project. And in fact, if you look behind me, you could probably see some of those goodies I've been collecting. But today's video, we're going to actually take one of those goodies and we're going to finally put it on the Silvia. So let's go ahead and check it out and see what we got. Now, I'm not going to get into full detail about every single piece that's over here on the table. However, if you guys are interested in knowing more about what's going to go in the Silvia in the near future, just let me know down in the comments below and we can make that happen. But this is just a small sample because I know some of you guys would be really curious about what we have over here on the back table. So let me know down in the comments below if you would like to see more about that. However, today we are going to be installing some OEM JDM Louvers made for the Silvia S14. Now, what's really cool about these is that they have the Silvia logo that lights up with the LED strip behind it, which actually you're going to see kind of over here. The main thing about these is that you just never get them with the complete wiring harness because as usual, they're always cut, or who cares, because these LED strips are 20-some years old as well as the plastic, hence why they're kind of like that purplish color. I think they're supposed to be like a black color, but 20-something year old sitting in the sun, that's what their job is to protect your car from the sun, as well as light up with some cool lights, so that stuff is going to wear over time. But what's really cool is there's a company out there by Project Mayhem who create one-to-one replicas of these as well as the 180SX ones, and what's really neat is they also sell the LED strips. So if you want to replace your LED strips, which is what we're going to do here in a little bit, we're going to go ahead and put those on and see what they look like. So if you guys want to try to do those, hit them up, Project Mayhem, and you guys can definitely do the same thing. Now, I've already gone ahead and removed one of them just for the sake of making sure I knew what I was doing before I messed it up, but I'm pretty sure this is the original one. I mean, you got two wires that come out, and usually they go to some sort of inverter that you can light up because it's kind of like an indigo blue color, and so there's a lot of OEM optional pieces that have that same kind of color scheme, but this is more or less what it looks like when you take it off, and it's really simple. All I used was the hair dryer, and I used some dental floss, and of course we got a screwdriver for the OEM hardware. This is also kind of hard to come by, but they just kind of screw on, and they should be able to twist in and out once you got it, and then you just kind of screw it down to get it fastened into the side. You'll see later on what I'm talking about. But if we flip this one over, we can kind of get an idea of what it's supposed to look like when it's attached. I mean, it's obviously just on there with double-sided tape, nothing crazy. And when we're looking at the new ones, they are pretty well the same idea. Like, take a look at it and we'll compare the two. So this is the old one, this is the new one. It comes with some double-sided tape already ready to attach to it, and you can kind of see where the outline is, where it begins, where it goes, and all it does is just light up behind it. It's a really simple design, but newer technology, LED strip versus whatever this was back in the 1990s. And what's cool is they got all the wiring pieces that go along with it to make it happen. And in fact, they also send in an instruction guide that'll tell you where to wire it, how to wire it, and of course if you need extra hardware, they even include that as well. So what's really cool is you get like a complete package. You can retain the OEM-ness of it and still have some updated technology. So let's go ahead and try and get this one off, and I'm just going to time lapse it so you can kind of see the idea of what I'm talking about. It really wasn't hard. It just took a few minutes to get it done. You just got to make sure you heat it up really good. Pass the dental floss to this side, come all the way down, and it should come right off. And there we have it. That was pretty simple, guys. It only took me about 3 minutes or so to do it, and with all this dental floss, it was a pretty simple job. You know, it broke a couple times, which it really didn't happen on the other one, but whatever. Anyway, so now you can see kind of what it looks like when you take that thing off. It's got this double-sided tape over here that is pretty easy. Just gotta peel it off with your finger. It doesn't come off like a, you know, it's not very difficult to come off anyway. But then after that, we're just gonna clean the surface a little bit so we can try to get a nice clean surface for those to stick on over here. And just like that, we got both sides all cleaned up to the best they're probably gonna get. Honestly, you could probably use a good polish or something. I don't even know if there is like a plastic polish. I'm sure there is, but I don't have anything. The best I used was this Griot's interior cleaner, and that pretty well got most of that double-sided tape gunk off of there. Maybe some Goo Gone or something would probably work pretty good, but I don't know. Just used a microfiber towel. Got it all taken care of. But I also wanted to show a side-by-side comparison of the new ones versus the old ones of these LED strips. And well, this, I don't even think it is an LED strip, but obviously this one is. This is the newer technology, and you can kind of see these are like the old style connectors, and then we got a whole wiring kit for that. But just like how amazing they were able to replicate that. That's pretty insane how well that turned out. But let's see, turn it over, and you can kind of get a good idea right there. So hopefully everything works out the way I'm, you know, planning it should, but we'll have to wait and see. So we're gonna go ahead and stick these on. Important thing to note, make sure you don't put them on backwards. You wanna make sure that the taillight strip is, well, not the taillight strip, I mean the wiring strip is kind of going out the backside over there. So you don't wanna put them on backwards, then you're pretty well screwed and you gotta buy new ones or something. No going back now. Oh man. This is like a one-time shot, so hopefully we get this right. Otherwise, it's gonna look really goofy. I'm gonna go ahead and set the camera down just so I can make sure I don't put this on crooked or anything like that, and I'll show you when it's done. Here we go, all done, easy peasy. It wasn't hard at all. Honestly, you just wanna make sure you line up with the original markings from the other one. Kind of like how you see the outline here a little bit, and then kind of around here. That's all I use as my template to kind of guide me a little bit more. But you want to make sure that you're not like pressing down hard on this, because obviously it's very fragile and it can crack. So what I did, I just set it down very gently, and I stood it up like so, and then just kind of pressed it evenly on both sides to make sure it's giving even pressure. And yeah, it was pretty easy, not difficult at all. So let's go ahead and do the other side and then move on to the next step. And just like that, we're ready to wire them up. So I think we can go ahead and start taking them out to the car. But another thing that I wanted to show you guys that I'm thinking of installing today as well is this piece right here. So this is like an OEM tint that you can put in the back windshield, or whatever you want to call it, the rear window, whatever you want to call it. But it's really, really nice condition. One thing I didn't know about this, so when I bought it, it's like a flimsy plastic material. Like, I didn't know that. I'm wondering if those were kind of like the same thing back in the day, like as far as its flexibility and such. But this is like a really flexible plastic, which is really cool. The one thing about this is it's actually got the cutout for the rear wiper, because that was an option for the S14s as well, but mine doesn't have that. So I don't think it really makes a difference. But the only thing I'm not sure is how to put it in. So what I'm thinking is it's got these screw things up here, very similar to how the louvers are. So I'm thinking we probably have to just kind of unscrew them a little bit and then just adjust them that way. I don't know. I might throw it in, I might not. We'll have to wait and see. But let's go ahead and start wiring these bad boys up and see what they look like. Now, one thing I wanted to stress was I'm not an electrician by any means. Honestly, I usually try to shy away from anything electrical, but I think this is gonna be simple enough. Honestly, you're just kind of wiring up like 2 wires, so it shouldn't really be a big deal. And plus the directions that they sent me are pretty straightforward, but I think we'll do okay. But anyway, here is the Silvia in all its glory that you guys haven't seen in forever. At the moment, the car currently has, I think, 30,000 miles. I mean, it's in ridiculously clean shape. I mean, I haven't really even done a real walkthrough video, I think, or at least if I did, it's been a long time. I can't even remember, it's been that long. But I've had this car now for over a year, and the only thing that I've really got done to it at the moment, I put on the glass headlights from the UK, but I'm actually going to be swapping those out soon again. Stay tuned for that. And then we have on the inside, super clean interior. I actually have brand new floor mats, but I'm not going to put those in right now. So anyway, point is, super clean interior. We'll do a walkthrough video another time, but I just figured I'd give you guys a quick little update. But the only other update is this old school Nismo shift knob, and that's it. I haven't really done anything else to the car. Here's the kilometers, if you guys are curious. 52,710, which again, I think it's like 30,000 miles. And yeah, so I'll tell you more about the car later on in another video. But anyway, let's go ahead and start grabbing the louvers and see if we can put them in. All right, so I've never actually mounted these things up here before, so I'm curious myself to see how they go. Let's see. Prop the door open. Get the seat open, or seat back. All right, let's climb in there. All right, it's a tight squeeze, but we can manage. All right, so take a look here. We got our quarter panel window here. And then we bring this thing around. So it should pop in something like this. All right, but you can see it's gonna need a little bit of pushing, which I'm super nervous about. And then what's gonna happen are these little clips are gonna kind of slide down in the gap, so behind the window, or behind the panel here. And what we do is then we just screw them in. So let me just kind of play around with this, see if I can get it in there without cracking or breaking anything, and I'll give you an update. Okay, that was a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. So what I'm noticing is with the hardware, you gotta make sure that everything is kind of out of its way, because otherwise it wouldn't slide in, obviously. You know, that kind of makes sense, right? And then you have this piece right here. Feel it closely. Let's see if I can zoom in here. There we go. I think you guys can kind of see it there. So this little thing is going to get shoved upwards to make it go up into the back side of this panel right there. Right there. Okay. So let's see if we can get that to happen. So something like, let's see. Actually, you know what? Maybe. No, yeah, no. Okay, no. So I think I have that one backwards. All right, so what I'm thinking is, I think this one slides over, then you screw it down. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, you just kind of slide it. And then, so I do have that one upside down. So, okay, that part right there needs to be the other way around. So that way it can kind of clamp down, and then you just kind of screw it down with the screw right there, and that's it. So let's do that. There we go, boys. We got it all set up. Now I just need to screw it in. Then that should be good. But as you can see, that little flat surface area has to rest against the surface of the little plastic part of the window. So I think we're okay there. So now I'm just gonna screw it in. Make sure you don't over tighten it. I mean, it doesn't have to be cinched down super hard. Just kind of give it a good, you know, I don't know. Just, you know, make sure it's not so loose so that it's not flopping around or anything. But you don't need to, like I said, screw it down so hard that you're gonna like strip the bolt or something crazy like that. So, all right, I think this is pretty good. And then, let's see. The wiring part is gonna feed behind this right here, behind the, like where the seatbelt is, going through that little crevice right there. And then we're supposed to pull this down. And then I think I gotta take these speakers out, which I'm really not too thrilled about doing because they're pretty heavy. They're also bolted into the speaker board there, so let's see how this goes. Actually, you know what? Before I do all this and take this speaker down and speaker board and all that stuff down, let's go ahead and throw the other one up in here. And there we go, boys. We got both sides in now. So the next step we're gonna do is we're gonna pull these little rings down here to bring the back seats down, and then we're gonna take a look at the speaker thing in the back here and see if we can take that out. Now that we have the rear seats down, I don't think we need to take the whole speaker deck out, to be honest. Well, maybe, because really what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to run these wires kind of along here, then they intersect over here, and then they go in through the back over this way. So, I don't know, I'm kind of curious, but hey, check it out. Here's the back of the CD changer I've never seen before. It's kind of cool, but all right, yeah, so let's see if we can figure something out with this rear speaker deck, because normally, like I said, you're supposed to like pop it out, pull it out, and then run the wires across the top, but I don't think we need to. I don't know, let's investigate. So here's kind of the issue we're running into. So these are, the speakers are mounted on this little bar over here with this little bolt coming down. I've never seen speakers done like that. I mean, it's not like it's impossible to remove or anything like that, but it's just a little different than what I was expecting. Yeah, I think we just have to remove the speakers and have to go with that. Otherwise, it'll look a little wonky, or maybe I can wait until I change those speakers. I'm not going to keep these speakers forever either. So I don't know. I think I'm going to just, yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and pull the speakers out and go the way it's supposed to. All right, so that definitely escalated quickly. I pretty much had to dismantle the entire back trunk area to get to the speakers. It was quite the mission, but I'll be honest, it wasn't too bad because everything was pretty well plug and play. All the wires are just connectors, so it's like I can connect everything back together, thankfully. So let's go ahead and check out over here. As you can see, I got all the trunk liner out on this side, and yeah, so it's pretty well exposed over here. I think I'm just gonna have to run it along here and tap into one of these connectors. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this I think is where those speakers lit up as well. So I think somebody in Japan already tapped into it. So we'll see. Quick update, because it's starting to get dark now and I want to make sure I get all this stuff done before it gets dark and I can show you guys the results, but at least I can show you the wiring. So if we go inside the cabin here, we look around, just ignore all the mess of wires everywhere. We have the little light strips are kind of wired in. The wires are tucked. They go behind this little panel right here, and then they kind of wire across here. I've got everything kind of zip tied into the speaker wires, and then they run along the top up here, and then they intersect with the other one that goes from this light strip all the way across underneath there, just like I did the other side. And then they run down through this little space back here behind the shock tower. So then right here, you can see we've got a few things. We've got the inverter, and then we have the power and the ground. So these are actually gonna tie in back there on the taillights. So let me show you where I'm thinking they have to tie in. Hopefully I'm not gonna mess it up. It should be okay though. I think we'll be just fine, to be honest. So we have our taillight right here, and then this is the connector that goes into the taillight. So from what I'm understanding is we have to tee into the black and then the red. Not the red and blue, but the black and the red. So that's what we're gonna try and do. Hopefully, if everything works right, that means they should get power at the same time as the taillights. So I'll show you guys kind of the end result once I've got everything wired up. Hopefully it's not too dark. All right, so I think I've got everything set up. If everything is wired in correctly, as soon as I turn on the light switch, it should work. So let me show you what I did. All right, over here inside the connector panel, you'll see we've got a little hodgepodge of a mess. Honestly, it doesn't bring me a lot of confidence that it's wired twice, but again, I'm not an electrician. For all I know, it might work, it might not work. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug that connector in, and then we'll turn on the light switch, and then in theory, it should turn on. Let's see, we'll keep an eye out on this one. If we hit the light switch, and nothing. All right, so what feels like a million years later, we kind of changed things up a little bit. So before I had it tap the black wire for the ground and the red wire for the power. But this time we changed it up. We have a solid red and blue line there that we're teeing into for the power. And this time, of course, we still have the ground as the black, so that shouldn't change at all. But if everything works right, I think we did it. Let's go ahead and check it out. So if I hit the switch, yes, great success, boys. I think we finally got it. So this side works just fine. Let's go ahead and check on the other side. Yes, success. Oh man, that's a good feeling. So I think we got it figured out. So if anybody's got a JDM Silvia and they're trying to do this, go with the red and blue with the black, and you guys will be golden. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and button up all this mess that I got going on here and hope that everything goes okay. But oh man, what a mission that was. Whew, good times. All right guys, it's been a few days since the last time I recorded that final clip and the install video, and I tell you what, I really wanted to show you guys what it all looked like when it was all buttoned up and put away and all the wires are hidden and everything. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check it out. So first of all, I don't know if I ever showed you guys my Silvia key that I got from Japan, and I had this thing cut, which I'm really digging. But anyway, you guys are here for the key. Let's go ahead and turn this on, turn the lights on as it should, and then boom, we got our Silvia logo. And then it's kind of hard to tell, but you can see it a little bit Here we are with the speakers lighting up with the same indigo blue or aqua blue. I don't know what color specifically you want to call it, but we got it there, and then we have it over here. They look really, really cool when they're lit up at night. I mean, obviously we still got some daylight, so it's not going to show as much, but I'll show you guys kind of how it all looks in the back. All sealed up, everything's buttoned up, put away. CD changer, of course, still there, and then yeah, everything is just kind of tucked and hidden away where it needs to be. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I really enjoyed putting stuff on the Silvia for the first time in forever. I mean, like an actual install besides like a shift knob or something. But if you guys want to see more, let me know down in the comments below. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You know the deal. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.